Hey guys, Matt the Dragon Tamer Team Forbidden here, and day 2 of YCS, and as you can see, all of us did not make it to day 2. But all in all, we did make it to, good amount of us made it to it. Let's see, what, you and John made it to round 6, me and everyone else 7 and 8, so I can't say, we gave it a good run, You're probably wondering what we took. Well, you probably saw it on the channel right now under the name, but Dragonmaids. Woohoo! Whoop-de-doo! It was either between that or Sword Soul. Everyone just said, hey, you know, Dragonmaids has been my thing for a little while, so go with that. So, here you are with competitive, quote-unquote. As competitive as I can be with how budget I am after my move. Dragonmaids that I took to YCS Pasadena. Let's start, shall we? First off, we got 3 kitchens, classic search, so that way you get your maids into the grave, dragon forms into the grave, basically get all your monsters into rotation. It was literally non-stop of, I kept summoning her against my match with the Shizu tier to dump my dragon maids into the graveyard because they kept trying to shuffle back everything I had each turn. Because the new Shizu stuff is fair and balanced, of course. 3 Parlor, she's our Foolish Burial for the Dragon Maid. Send anything Dragon name related to the graveyard, so if you need to send any of your combo pieces, combo starters, extensions and all that, she's your girl. Then of course, 3 Chamber, arguably the best one. Gets your hospitality, gets your changeover, gets your traps. And I'll show you which traps, because funnily enough, in everyone I went up against in the YCS, against Sprite, against Tier, against basically from everyone I faced, the most fun deck, the 2 most fun decks I placed in my last 2 matches were Mystic Mine. And the fact that I had more fun playing against the Mystic Mine players instead of the Tier and Sprite players tells me something about this format. But we'll just get back to that on that. 2 Nurses, because she's our World Legacy Guard Dragon for Dragon Maids. The 1 Laundry, because it's laundry. And we were just helping the Tier player dump our stuff faster every time I kept summoning her. Lopar, because she prevents activations from going off. Tinkek, because Dragon Honest. And then 2 Ernest, because she's arguably the next best dragon form from just summoning stuff from your hand. So if you're trying to go around back row decks or anything that doesn't go off in the main phase, you're just like, oh, okay, end phase, activate her, get your playstyle going on the off phases that, you know, you don't get talented or other stuff like that. Now onto the techs. I did manage to buy a couple boxes of Darkwing Blast, so I did pull the 1 Fenrir. He did help out a lot in my duels. So there's the 1 Fenrir. 2 Bell. And 2 Crow, because I just wanted to not deal with any graveyard shenanigans. Especially when you got to deal with all the Nimble stuff, all the Tier stuff, all the Shizu stuff and all that. So they were there just for that, just to basically look forward for those encounters. 3 Hospitality, because, you know, basic +1, +2, depending on which Dragon Maid you summon, which Dragon form you dump. So easy, fun pluses. 2 Changeover, because I just basically had the mindset of there's probably going to be people that are walking in with DD Crows to deal with Tier and Sprite. So, like I've always told you guys before, always try and have 2 if you can, because if they manage to banish or get rid of 1, it's always safe to have that second option. And also, the reason another good reason why I also run 2, it's because 2 Forbidden Droplet. It's an extra card to send for cost of the Droplet to negate your opponent's boards. When it comes to stuff like the Changeover and the Dragon forms, they're always getting bounced back to your hand, so you're always going to have resources for Droplet. And then 2 World Legacy Guard Dragon when you just want to recur your Dragonmaids back from the graveyard. One welcome gave all my girls a buff on top of, hey, you know, if my stuff is already being dumped into the grave because of Ishizu tier, might as well just use this to recur it back if I need a certain monster or a certain card to try and get me back in the game. Reasoning, because everything's a different level. I was a little worried that this would backfire on me because of running the bells and the crows, but luckily enough, every time I played this, I kept hitting my Dragonmaid, so still helped out a lot. Then of course the one called by the grave, because one called by the grave. Onto the traps, we got 3 tiding, because bouncing back field spells and all that good stuff is good stuff. And on top of that, the graveyard effect of summoning a Dragonmaid is pretty good too. 3 Imperm, because I need an actual hand trap to stop stuff and on the grave. That's not my Xiao or my Spheres or anything else. 2 Rivalry, because in most games I just kept really making Sphere Xiao pass, which for a lot of my games was enough to keep me going. But, you know, had to side these out against Mystic Mine, because, you know, Mystic Mine. But usually these tend to be real good turn enders when you stop on the right card for Sprite, or when you rivalry the Sprite, when you rivalry the Beaver for Sprite, or you end up rivaling like the Dragostapelia or something else that's non-aqua for tier. And then the MVP when it came to me facing all the Mystic Mine decks I faced, because bouncing back all my cards during end phase, or bouncing back the Runic Fountain, or bouncing back the field spell going off, this saved me a lot of games, interrupted a lot of plays, and on top of that, got me back into games where I basically just bricked. So downtime was a real MVP this event. Onto the extra deck. 2 Heavenly Spheres, because Heavenly Sphere is one of the most busted Link 2s ever, especially for dragons. IP Masquerena, because IP Masquerena. Nightmare Package, Phoenix to pop, Unicorn to spin back, and then Access Code, because Access Code wins games. Volofrenegus, because I do still have a bit of a level 7 package, so he is a quick play pop. If you ever do get him on the field, on top of that, bumps up your monster's attack. Big Eye, because taking people's monsters. And then Harmonizer Gradiel, you know, still got her. Considering a lot of the stuff that's going on, it tends to be supremely heavily graveyard based, especially tier. She was really helpful in those parts where I would take a tier monster, or I would had to, because first off, for the most part, I thought I just had to deal with DP, because oh, you know, we got it at 3 and all that back again, which worried me. But no, for the most part, it was just to deal with the more annoying tier cards that hit grave, because then you just attach them to a material, and then she can't be destroyed or by battle or by card effect against that type, so they had to go into extra other stuff to try and get around her. Then of course, 3 house, because 3 house, and with a 3 house, 3 Xiao, because Dragon Omni Negate. You can't say no to Dragon Omni Negate. My field center from La Palma, Dragonmaid. Let me take it out for you because it's double-sided. As you can see, you got house one side, chamber other. Onto my extra, or my side deck. 2 Dogwood to try and win on time. A lot of the times it was either a blowout or we literally just went till last minute in our duels. But the duels that went on to last minute were Mystic Mine, so Dogwood was not going to work on that. 2 Nibiru, because I thought, okay, this can work on when Tyr and Sprite are popping off. Pankratops is, you know, Pankratops. Fenrir is broken, because I had a misplay with him. Or just how he's worded, really. 2 Dark Ruler No More, because Dark Ruler No More. Double Cyclone and Heartbeast Feather Duster, because we don't like back row, we don't like Mystic Mine, etc., etc., the usual. triple D barrier, because, you know, oh, going up against Tyr, call Fusion. Going up against Sprite, call Xyz. And then anti-spell when I had to deal with anything super back row heavy like Runic, Mystic Mine, and all that stuff. But hey, that was my Dragonmaid profile for YCS Pasadena. Made it up to round 7 with the boys, but sadly couldn't make it to day 2 like we said. But that was that. Made a good run with it. It was pretty fun. Surprised everybody because either everyone forgot what Dragonmaid did or did not know what it did, so that was also a big help. But anyways, if you have any comments or concerns, you can leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and figure out in the next time we upload a stream. Peace.